Bell Street,
who are an events band and production company.
And we're here to talk to you about our fun and failures.
On our journey from being scared to doing it anyway.
And we've got our newsreader hands out today.
We have. Just thought that. We're on a different angle since last week.
Yeah, because I got new chairs.
Oh,
yes. But I think they're less creaky, and I think you'll find, give them a chance and your bum will find them more comfortable.
Yes, well, it was just a bit lower when I sat down, and they have wheels.
Did you have wheels?
Can't wheel it.
No.
Anyway.
That'll be a useful bit for all the listeners.
New chairs.
If you do listen to this podcast, then you should try watching it on YouTube because, well,
so entertaining.
It's hilarious. It's not. But our little rule with podcasts is the audio is a little bit more polished, and you get nice music coming in and out. And I might have thought about whether we're all talking over each other at the same time and try to sort that out. But the YouTube is raw and like. Well, I just find that when you're watching people, it's easier to get the gist of what's going on. And sometimes when you're listening, if everyone's talking at once, it's a bit much.
Yeah.
So yeah, check out the YouTube. But also, if you're watching on YouTube, go and listen to the audio because we put a lot of effort into getting that tango in and out. Yeah, and there's bloopers on the audio. We put bloopers at the end and a nice motivating introduction at the beginning.
Yes.
So
whereas if you're watching us, you just get all of it.
Bloopers and all. Bloopers and all. But yeah, you can only really go back to season 4, I think, on YouTube. So yeah, okay, that's just in case you're a new listener and you want to go back and you're so excited.
Well, it's trying to get it right, isn't it? And each season we try and work out how we might be able to improve or get it right in any way. And we were saying earlier, it's easier to talk to each other with a camera here, so we can entertain you with our faces this way. When we have a guest, we spend the whole time like this.
Yes, and that you start with a guest, you start listening very nicely and nodding at the camera, and then you get lost in what they're saying. You become a bit like, you forget your posture and you're gormless and you're like, see the side of my chin. So, maybe I should wear a polo neck, and then I would feel, or just like get well, then I would feel like I had a better neck when we're interviewing people, or wrap my hair around like this.
Yeah,
that could work.
I feel that we've both gone heavy on the black tops today.
Well, that's because it's autumn.
Yes, but I feel a bit like a floating head.
Okay.
Floating
No,
arms.
but that's okay. We have made the mistake before of doing shows all in black. But we've got a white background, we're fine. We did deliberately do a headless picture once, didn't we? For Women of Dorset.
We did, yeah.
That's
very good.
It's one of my favourite pictures of us.
Yes.
Your head being held by my body.
Yeah, we should get that one out for Halloween this week. We should go
the picture.
We should go like that for Halloween.
What? That means you get to do all the talking. I would. What would your Halloween costume be? Because mine, I would really like to be. If I had time, money, and inclination to put any effort in, I would really like to be the Death Becomes Her. The one in the red, and then work out a way to make a bullet hole in my stomach. I think that would be, and they're always holding a candelabra, aren't they? You could go original rather than musical, I suppose, but that would be a fun one for me to dress as anyway. I'd like that. Also, it's a duo, but I don't know how you feel about having your head backwards. And I really want to be the redhead, so
I don't really mind.
You've got a blonde wig.
Make it work. We've got a few days.
You just have to put boobs on your back, I think.
Yes. And
be covered in rain. Depending on which bit of the film/musical you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, we do digress.
We do.
So this weekend we have a little mini podcast. Well, it's not really a podcast, is it? It's a guest slot on Shaftesbury's local radio station, which is called Alfred Radio. Very good local radio station because it actually helps nurture the community. It's really good, and even better now we're on it. But every Sunday we do a little 10-minute slot, and it's supposed to be about life in Shaftesbury, but it's kind of turned into us we've gone a bit wild on it and very eclectic with our topics, haven't we?
Yes. Well, it's sort of whatever's going on, I guess, in our lives at the time, and it's 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and
there's a nice freedom in it though, because we're not we don't worry about having the message or anything. So then we'll just say, this week we'll talk about cows, and then what helped us actually was listening to Jennifer Saunders and Dawn French's podcast.
Yeah.
Because that's on Audible if you ever want to listen to it.
It's called Titting About.
Yes. Titting About. And they do a little jingle, which we've never... Well, we don't need to because I suppose we have Bitch at 69 as our jingle. But anyway, they just pick a topic and then they run off with it. And we were like, oh, I wonder if we could do that. But it's so freeing because we don't have to have a point to it really. And you can just talk. And actually, I think it's really improved our technique of talking.
Yes.
About a subject.
Yeah.
And it always ends up being nuts.
It does. And the tangents.
There are some tangents.
Yeah.
And then you forget and you're oversharing to Shaftesbury and someone will stop you in the middle of the street and go, ooh, that happened with my brother or something. And you'll be like, oh crap, I forgot that anybody listens. But and then often we forget to record it, so we're in like the back of a car because we've just got back from a gig, or like in a toilet somewhere, like, right, we need to quickly do this. So, but it's fun. Anyway, we did that this weekend and the theme of it was the final straw, which our friend Angela Hughes, who's a photographer, was talking to me in the gym about, and she's talking about when you get your sleeve caught on the door, and it's always at the point where you can't really cope emotionally, and so it makes you cry or really swear or whatever. And so we thought we could extend that into our main podcast.
The Tipping Point.
That would be a good podcast. The Tipping Point. And talk about it with regards to being creative jobs, and just our general lives. I tell you what happened literally after we got home from recording the what did we call it? The final straw.
The final straw, yeah.
I came home and my dog had knocked the bin over and eaten it and spread it everywhere, and it really was the final straw, and I was like, why didn't I say this in the podcast? It was annoying. It was very annoying. Yeah.
Yes. Well, even putting a podcast together, it's those moments where you're up editing, and then like your charger broke, and you had to go and...
The charger broke, so then I had to go to like 6 different shops at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, and literally the only place that I could find that sold... It's this boring. The charger was literally over, and then it happened again like 2 weeks later. But yeah, there's always something, or like you're about to finish. If you are creative and you're doing your social media, it'll be something like you've just spent 20 minutes working on a video and you'll go to do it and your phone will go, you don't have enough storage to do that. No. Or you post it and it disappears. You ever had that?
Yes.
And you don't know where it's gone. It's gone into the black hole that is the internet somewhere. Then you're worried you posted it on like... I'm signed into about 9 Instagram accounts because I've been in various businesses. I'm like, have we just posted something ridiculous onto like the local hairdresser's website? So yeah, there is always a final straw with social media content creation. Yeah.
Yes.
How did you find that, by the way, when I was away? Because I tend up doing I do quite a bit of the social media, and then we kind of split up our jobs a little bit, and that tends to be one of the things I do. And then I went away on holiday, and Susan was in charge of the social media and did some very good camera to camera chatting.
Well, with social media, I just find it so weird because my brain stops when it comes to actually writing words down, because I think that doesn't make sense, or that's not going to be interesting. I obviously overthink it, but because it bothers me with social media when things are spelt wrong, as we quite often say.
Yes, I do spell things.
No, not you. I just know my own pressures.
Yes.
Or it just doesn't look very good. So I think I already put the pressure on myself to make something right, and then I overthink it. So I just would rather talk at the camera.
But I think that's great. So I think like that's why working with someone else is good, because I don't really do much of that, because I prefer to create stuff so that it can just then go out at whatever point. Yeah. But that means I don't do very much talking to the camera, apart from this. Yeah. But yeah. So I think. Do you think that now you've done it, you would like do a bit more?
Yeah. Again, I've got to think about it, or actually write it down to remember to do it, because it's
maybe
not
it's the
in my
100 times thing.
Yeah.
where you have to do something we've talked about previously, like doing it lots and lots of times. And I don't know how I ended up doing like that little bulk of the social media, but I think that it just happened, and then it just happens, and then it doesn't really faze me as much anymore. And I think a lot of people do overthink their social media.
Yeah.
In terms of like actually the way that people are consuming content at the minute isn't with a very thoughtful.
No.
Oh, that's a really good little filter you've put on that, or that transition is great. Actually, it's just, I know how I consume it is just fast, and it needs to be quick, and you need to say, and you need to be as present as you can be. So I think it's the perfect time really to make mistakes on social media at the minute, because people just are watching any old shit.
I was talking to a lady at the weekend who is brilliant with social media, and she was just saying, she was like, you do have to invest in it. You have to put some money into it and get it. And we've talked about this. If people don't know that you are doing something, we're talking about filling up classes for a dance class, but she's like, how can you get people in if you do not know, if people don't know that you're there?
Yeah.
And you have been talking about that recently a bit more, about, you know, the importance of advertising.
Yeah.
Whereas it used to be a leaflet,
Yeah.
which was so much easier in a way, I guess. But now,
Yeah, because
you
if
can
someone saw it, they saw
spread.
it, and it wasn't your fault. But now you have to reach the entire world.
Yeah.
We have an event on Friday, and I can guarantee next week, when we talk about the fact that we've done it, someone will say, wish I'd known you were doing that.
Yeah.
And we couldn't have put it in more places.
Yeah.
But
Actually, I spoke to someone yesterday who said, I've not seen anything about that. I was like, but you do follow us,
yeah.
and individually.
Yeah. I don't know how you magically get people to see things. It's the ever worrying thing. But yeah, that's interesting. And well, we've said before, haven't we? Everything's shifted to being a content creator, and in some ways that's great, because you get to be freer and just put things out there. People aren't so worried about looking perfect. Well, I don't know, maybe that's just my feed, because I know a lot of young people talk about not wanting to be seen in real life without a filter, but definitely for people around our age, I'm shocked at how people turn up on camera, and that just gives me the confidence that some of these podcasts I brush my hair, some of these podcasts I don't. And actually 10 years ago I'd be like, oh, what are you doing putting yourself out there? But I've done a show in Spanx now, so like I have no shame left.
And also at the weekend you went out old-fashioned style with leaflets.
I did do some leafleting. That was fun.
Dressed up.
Well, that was kind of, we're doing an event on Friday, and obviously, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, people buying tickets in advance is hard work.
Yeah.
So we just thought, right, I had some time on Saturday, and I just threw on a Halloween costume and went and did some leafleting. That was fun. I think maybe people should bring that back. It's like retro now. But it was good, because I had a veil on, so I didn't feel too exposed. So I had a big black veil on. And I did run out of leaflets, and then I was just walking around. Dressed as like, I don't know what I was, some kind of Bride of Frankenstein or something. And with no leaflets left. And so I decided to just stay in character.
Furious with everyone in Shaftesbury.
Furious. What? Sometimes I think I might just put that costume back on and have a stomp around. Yeah.
It could be a myth about you, the woman of Shaftesbury.
The woman of Shaftesbury. Apparently
spy.
she lives next to the boob shop.
Opposite the butcher.
Yes. Now the internet knows where.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, it's hand in hand, isn't it? But yeah, I think sometimes the final straw can be you like overthinking so much about your social media content, where you post it, who you let know, and the final straw is when someone goes, oh, I didn't even know. It's like, fine. Sometimes the universe lets you have an audience, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yes. But we were talking about, well, in our chat the other day, we ended up talking about camels and the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yes.
But thinking about that sort of final straw, it also can have a positive point, because whatever you're doing, when you reach your limit, there has to be change. And so maybe is that something that actually you have again, I was talking to somebody at the weekend who
You had a good weekend.
did.
We should talk about that.
Talking to somebody who had just reached their limit with their full-time job
Yeah.
and had decided to go out and just be a full-time teacher, dance teacher, and has built their classes slowly, but that's a really fine line, as again we've talked about before. The tipping point of when do you give this up
Yeah.
and dive into this bit.
It can
and do
make
it
or
anyway.
break you, can't it?
Mm.
Yeah. And it can be a real motivation and a catapult, which sometimes I think that's better, to be catapulted into something than whether to agonise over it. Like, should I leave my job?
Yeah.
Should I start these classes? Should I put my work out there? Like, if something just snaps, it's like when a marriage ends, isn't it? We know someone who stood on a bit of Lego and it was the final straw, and she's like, I'm going! And that was the end. And like, I think we've all had final straws, but it can be the thing that pushes you into something better for you. And I would prefer that than the agonising chats and like, I don't know. But yeah, because then you can almost blame the decision on the universe or fate rather than I chose this.
Yeah, and also with that, just being able to say yes to things. So when you're asked to do something like, come and do this gig, or will you do a class, and you just go, yeah, okay, you've committed in that moment. And that's sometimes like the first step to be able to go, oh, yes, instead of like say sitting and thinking, right, where shall I start and what should we do?
Do you think the universe throws out it as specifically signs? Because I was thinking about like when the final straw, something happens. Like when we decided to stop doing Hugh, there wasn't really a momentous moment, but there were little tiny things that Hugh is a musical we wrote, by the way. In case you took that phrase a bit wrong. Hugh the musical. We did it for a little while, and he's in bed, he's resting, and we made the decision to stop. But that was a more considered decision, wasn't it? But it did feel like there were tiny little things piling up.
Yeah.
To kind of go, right, this is,
Yeah.
the universe is like, maybe it's not for now.
Yeah. And again, your gut reaction with things as well.
Yeah.
Because things have to work in a practical way or financial way or whatever. So, but I do think those little pokes, which can
Little straws.
They just pile up.
Yeah.
And also with those little straws, you can have your confidence knocked, depending on the situation, each time, because
Yeah.
until actually I think that last little straw, just think, actually no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. We have both been watching Riot Women, which is on BBC, and it's got some great actors in it.
Yeah.
But what I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I still haven't finished it.
I did do some binge watching. Obviously, evidently, I had quite an empty weekend while you were out. Susan's not here. I don't know what to do with myself. So, I was. What I really related to was, well, they all have a final straw moment in that, on to varying degrees of mental health, real health, dealing with menopause, dealing with other people in their lives. But what I really related to is they're trying to put this band together, right? And they do. That's not a plot spoiler. But even the day they get together and they perform, everything goes wrong. Not because of them, because of everybody else. And what it really reminded me of was that chaos that with ourselves, when you're trying to make something, you're trying to make a show happen, you're trying to rehearse something, and it's just like being battered left, right and centre by all these other things that you have to do, and all you're doing is fighting to make yourself visible or trying to answer like the call of your creative destiny, and just life is like and this show focuses on women, and obviously we are women, and I really related to that, just trying to do something for yourself, and and knowing that you've got to let that thing go for a minute because you've got to go over here and do that thing. And it's a narrative that women face a lot of the time. But that show is a really good example of Final Straws being a kick up the arse.
It's also, I think, because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. I'd heard a few people talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's an hour as well. You know, quite often things are a bit shorter, but I'm completely caught in each episode. But it is about the bond. Again, like we talk about working with each other, we have to show up for the other person.
Yeah.
This is about a group.
You can't run away.
Of women who have got together in a weird situation, but they all do have to show up because otherwise they are letting down the rest of the band. So there is a determination to get through all the stuff, but yes, when things are out of control, but also when you're creating something or about to perform or whatever it is nice to have a moment to get ready, to get your head in the game before you go and stand out in front of everybody. Or I can imagine, you know, if you're in a job, an office job, or doing a presentation or being a teacher or whatever, it is nice to have a moment to focus and to turn off your phone so that actually whatever else is going on, no one can get in touch with you and you can do your job.
But how rare is that?
And I think people forget that when we're doing stuff that is, well, when we're creating, when we're rehearsing, I don't know if it's seen as work in the same sense sometimes, which is why everyone thinks that they can call you at any time.
But what I did love, I guess, was identifying with that, because all these women I would say they're older well, most of them are older than we are, but like I don't know, I just, when I felt that identity of like, so this has been written by someone who has tried to create something and has been blown apart and has persevered and done it anyway, and that's what I really connected to about it. And I thought, good, someone else feels like that. And we see it all the time, like women trying to create things, and you're working around so many other things. It's just hilarious. So yeah, I recommend it. And do you know what I liked? They just wrote angry songs, and some of the songs must have been really hard for whoever wrote the songs, because unless they think they're amazing, some of the songs are like, they're supposed to have made all this stuff up in 6 weeks, and some of the songs are like not that great, but the essence and the, you know, the message behind them, or what the characters were trying to say. There's one that's called that's in the first episode, so again, not reading anything, but what's it called? He said, "I'm just like your mother."
Oh yeah.
That's what my ex-husband used to say to me all the time, and they'd flip that on their head, and it's really good. But that's a really good song. I had that in my head. But some of the other songs are just, you know, they're average, but they're like saying something. And I felt like I could see us, because we question our songwriting skills frequently, and we put off songwriting, and because it's not something that we've done 100 times, and so, you know, we need a lot of support with it. But that made me think we should get back into writing those songs we wanted to write, because they're just, I know it's fiction, but it's come from truth. All fiction comes from something.
But I think also, because we have got a couple that we need to do, because we've started them.
Yeah.
And then the problem is, again, that life has come in around, because there have been so many other things going on. And because we're working with other people, it's their timing as well. So yeah, going back in a different way maybe.
Yeah.
We've talked about sort of approaching it slightly differently.
Yeah. And maybe not getting hung up on how great the song is, but the feeling behind it, because that's what connected with me with the songs that are on the show. Like I said, I don't know if someone deliberately dumbed down their writing skills, or if they got someone like us to write. If you want us to write some songs for the sequel, BBC, we could write you some average songs with real meaning behind it. We could do that, I reckon. But yeah.
But we also, I think, when we were writing Hugh the musical, I mean, that was a funny old process, and we did a lot of rhyming sessions, and sat there getting it all out there, and they were so basic. Even the bitch at 69, which if you don't know the musical, our intro, if you're listening on audio, it's the bit of music that goes in and out.
It's a tango.
It was a rock tango,
Yeah,
a rango, yeah. But that was very basic, and we had a rhythm, and we worked with Ellis, our person who put down all the notes on the piano. And then we took it
to real musicians. Not that Ellis isn't, I mean other people.
But people who could, and I'm talking about Dan Baker.
Yeah.
Just turned it, with his skills, into just this amazing piece of music that we went.
And now it's like people's favourite song that from the musical, and it's probably one of our favourite songs because we knew exactly the message we wanted to say with that song, and we knew it was a relatable song. And so, what's that story about that child that sits down on a concert pianist and piano and just starts playing one note, and then the concert pianist comes behind him and plays like a sonata around that note?
Oh, right.
That's what I felt like when we were doing our musical, and we're like, this note here is this, and then we'd written this very basic, but it had a real message behind it. Like that was one of the first songs we wrote, wasn't it? Because we knew what we wanted to say. And then Dan Baker did come in amazingly and play around us and turn it into something quite lovely.
Yes.
That's his violin playing, you can hear in the music.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, very cool.
I love a tango.
But yes.
So yeah, I liked that. Watch Riot Women because I found it inspiring.
Also, it's that sort of thing of these women who are, I don't know what age they are. They're all 50 plus, I presume.
Well, next there's a 3 younger people in it as well.
Yes.
And they have different issues.
Yes, but what I just mean the slightly, well, I guess from
one of them's retiring.
From 40 onwards, they turn up together, and people don't see them. When they say they're going to start a band, it's laughable because, again, people are like, of course, yeah. And so having to overcome being something that people don't think you should be or would be, or
there's a whole episode where they talk about being invisible, not being seen. And I did wonder if our balloon that we've tied to our tree had gone, because I thought this is what, if we had the means and maybe the talent, but the undeveloped talent, we would have created something like this. This felt like something that, like, especially with the message of how people just glaze over people when they're not in certain roles anymore, when they don't look a certain way anymore, when they're a different age, when they're a different race, all of those things, that is still one of the things we really want to write about. I did also wonder, do you think it will just spark will there just be a ton of like really cool, angry, female-led bands popping up all over the place? Because I think it might end up inspiring people. I mean, maybe quite unrealistically, because they do magically know how to play their instruments quite well. You do have to suspend your disbelief in that.
Yes, they learn.
Having worked with bands, it's not that quick.
They do learn very quickly. Yes,
they do.
I don't think I could learn to play the bass by next week.
No. Try.
Yeah, but yeah. Well, we didn't know we were going to.
No, but it's nice to see something you can relate to on TV, where yeah. But any other straws? Do you have a preference? Do you like a metal straw? I don't like a metal straw.
I'm not a big straw
weird
fan.
on my teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't mind a straw, but now everything's paper because of the turtles, and quite rightly so. If you do, they have a paper straw, it just disintegrates.
They do disintegrate, yeah.
And that's a final straw for me.
Yeah, so you have to drink quickly.
Well, in a pub, I quite like to, because I'm not drinking at the minute, I quite like to have a bottle of Diet Coke, not sponsored, sadly, and in a glass bottle with a straw in it. And that makes me feel like it's so stupid, but it makes me feel like it's a proper drink, or at least a treat drink. But then now the straws just disintegrate, and for me that's final straw, and I'll be like, right, I'm going home. my straw is limp. I'm going home.
Yes.
Oh, final thing. I know we've talked about it a lot. Is our newsletter.
Oh yeah.
Which will be out by the time this podcast goes out,
Mhm.
we'll have sent it out. But we were making that the other day, and that has been, oh my gosh, such a long process. Why? Because when you read it, you won't think, oh, this must have taken them such a long
It's
time.
about 12 words on it.
Yeah, you won't be thinking, this is impressive. Well done for pushing through on that. You'll just think, oh, well, that's a newsletter. But anyway, it
If
is
you
a
open
newsletter. If you open it, and if you subscribe to our newsletter, which you can do through our website. But there was a point the other day, and we'd got our heads around how we were going to do it, and like we designed it all in Canva, and then we were going to move it over to MailChimp, blah 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 blah, and then it didn't work. It just didn't work. And we were sat, I would say, for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, just both of us just silently, like both of us signed into Canva, moving bits around, just getting more and more annoyed, and trying not to be aggressive with the laptops because we love you. But I did think, are we ever going to do this? Are we ever going to... Is this the final straw? Is it over for the newsletter? But we can't ignore the universe. She's been telling us we need to put a newsletter out. So all it took, though, was a little bit of space, stepping back from it for 3 hours and going back to it. And it took 10 minutes to just put things back together. But that newsletter, that has been a pile of straws. I'm surprised that Campbell's still standing.
Well, it's when you can't see past what should happen. It really should.
Why can't you just do that and then it be like that and make it click that? Like,
why are you the wrong size now? Yeah.
I mean, we haven't pressed... we sent out the test email, so that has been out. So I was going to say we haven't actually pressed send yet, so probably something else that goes, no, you can't do that. You've not got enough storage for a newsletter. But,
Are we going to try that today?
I think I googled it and it said good day to send out a newsletter is mid-morning on a Tuesday.
Oh, really?
So I thought if we double checked everything today and then we can press send
Okay, that's
tomorrow. What do you think?
Yeah. When I googled it, it said Thursdays. So who
Yeah, it said
knows?
Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yeah. So
Anyway, yes, it will be out this
well,
week.
the thing is, it's talking about Friday, so maybe if we get it out on Tuesday. Excuse us.
There we go.
But please do sign up to our newsletter because there will be lots of reasons to. And then we thought, do we need to start a podcast newsletter? Because actually we could say a lot about the podcast and we could link all sorts of things in, but let's just get this one out first, shall we? and then see how that goes.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for listening to this.
Yeah. And let us know about your final straws.
Yes.
Or any sort of straws.
Well,
really.
our next episode is a guest. And then we have our final episode for this season because we have to go and be Christmas. So we're having a little break till probably January. So we will be doing our classic questions. Send us a question. Now, normally then what we have to do is go around and nag people to send us a question. Please pretend you're interested. But no, we always get a really good question. And so we're going to keep this feature for this season. And so if you have a question for us about any of the guests that have been on or any of the things we've been talking about, or if you just want to tell us something you've done that's related to the podcast in terms of, projects you've been working on, we love to hear that. Don't forget to add yourself into the Dare to Do group on Facebook.
Yeah.
But yes, send us your questions. You can send them on email, bellstreetsingers@gmail.com. You can send them DMs on Instagram at Bell Street Productions, Facebook, Bell Street Productions, or at Not Just BS on either of those as well.
You can find us in the street.
You can find us in the street or in your inboxes. Or write us a letter.
Yes.
Send a stamped address envelope. If you wrote us a letter, we would send you a prize.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it came through the post to our business address, which is easily findable.
Well, we've told everyone where you live. Really at the beginning.
Yes, we have, but you can't write that in an envelope.
No. I wonder if it would get here. Just roughly,
If you dropped it in front of Marcus or Jerome the postman. Anyway, enjoy your week.
Yes. And if you have your final straw and it's your tipping point and you think, what shall I do?
Just do it anyway.